Hello everyone, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different from my norm. This one actually is inspired from a comment that I got a few days ago in one of my recent videos from a subscriber who said, because I've been mentioning I've kind of been having a little bit of creative block, just not feeling, I don't know, the kind of creativity that I normally have. I'm not feeling that spark that I usually have, and so I'm still being creative, but it's kind of taking a little bit extra effort to get there, or kind of sometimes even wanting to come up here and craft. So she commented and said she's kind of experiencing the same thing. And do I have any ideas, or does anybody else who might be reading those comments have any ideas on how do we overcome it and become creative again and get past that little lull? So I thought, well, shoot. It's kind of the perfect time, I think, to talk about this. I don't know about you guys, but I personally feel burned out right now. Not from crafting necessarily. It's, well, I don't want to go too far into that, but the end of the year tends to be a very busy and hectic time, and we feel so much pressure to do all the things. Well, we need to remember that we're only one person, and we can only we don't need to do all the things. We need to do what's necessary. And then if there's other things that are causing stress or causing heartache or whatever it might be, maybe don't do that thing. So anyway, so as I was kind of thinking about what things I do to overcome a creative block, I decided to go ahead and start a little list. And so I actually started a little list in an app that I use to keep lists of things or just random thoughts and notes and stuff. And so I was like, well, I can't present that. So I went ahead and took my little list and made it pretty with Canva. But I thought we could maybe kind of talk a little bit about some of I can talk about the things that I do. And then hopefully maybe if you guys have ideas that are kind of in addition to what I've done or same but your perspective, please shout out in the comments. This is a great way for all of us to kind of help each other out. We need to keep in mind that we're here for everyone, and this is a really awesome community and supportive. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of take a minute, do a little breather. I'll have show and tell, so don't worry, it's not just going to be me with this and my waving hands. Sorry, I talk with my hands. I can't help it. It's hereditary. So here's a funny story about that. When I was a kid, my dad, he talks with his hands and literally can't talk without doing something with his hands. And one day we were out digging post holes to put a fence into our yard, and my grandpa was over and helping, and of course, they were talking, but it was just a little bit here and there. They were working really, and I was basically there to hold things and give them tools when they needed tools. And my dad then needed to tell my grandpa a story, and so he literally had to stop using the post hole digger, stop working, so that he could tell the story and use his hands as he was describing everything. So kind of funny. But anyway, so ways to overcome creative block. So my first thing here is understand why your creative block is happening. The cause might not even be related to your craft. I know for me, right now, I'm feeling burned out from work. I haven't had a day off since May. When I put in my time off request for this weekend, I'm going to have a 4-day weekend this weekend. I realized that. And a lot has changed for me in this year for work. And things are a little bit it's more stressful at work. And that's now transitioning into my daily life, my home life, my personal life, and carrying that stress into my personal life. I don't feel like I'm able to really ever have a break at the moment, or at least that's the way I've been feeling. And so for me, I don't know, I'm sure it manifests in different ways for other people, but for me, when I'm overwhelmed, I tend to spend more time on things that I think are going to make me feel better. And in that case, it's a lot of times crafting. And so I've been spending a lot of time working my work job and working on my hobby job, which is crafting and junk journaling and YouTube and Etsy. And so what's not getting really done the best? Well, I'm not taking care of my body the way that I should be. I'm not eating the way that I should be because I'm not taking the time to cook for myself the way I should be. I'm not vacuuming my house as often as I should, things like that. And so all of those little things over time for me kind of just grow and grow and grow and grow. And all the time I'm thinking about those things that are nagging at me in the back of my mind, and so that then manifests itself for me into burnout all over the place, and especially in my creative world. I don't feel as creative. So that for me is a lot of times the biggest reason, or something like that. It's not usually related to the actual craft itself. It's like when I have more free space in my mind that's not being taken up by these little naggy things that are kind of happening every day in life, then that's when my creativity really comes out. There's more time more room in there for creativity. So for you guys, it might not be the kind of same thing. It might be you've got kids that are very busy and active, and you're taking them here, there, and everywhere, and you don't really feel like you have a lot of your own free time for yourself, or could be any kind of thing. So I guess that was my first one. Understand why it's happening. Journal about it if you're not quite sure. Start just, we're making journals here. Use one. And start writing down your feelings or your thoughts. And, for me, I'm a list maker. I like to make lists, not so much necessarily write paragraphs long of journals. So pros and cons, when I do this happens, this kind of thing. So for everyone, it's different. But that's where I would start for myself when I am not feeling the most creative. The next thing for me, which kind of ties into the first one, after hearing what I was just saying about having cleanliness, I need things to be clean for my brain to feel free to express things, because then when things are clean around me, I don't have clutter around me all the time, then I feel more free and easy to think about other things. But when I'm cleaning my craft room, now I'm looking through my stash, and then that reminds me of project ideas I had when I first bought some stuff. Or it could be where I have two different kinds of things next to each other that I wouldn't have normally seen next to each other, and that might spark an idea for something. Or just, I'm a consumer of YouTube crafters, especially junk journalers, and I'm constantly seeing ideas from YouTubers. And so maybe I see something in my stash that reminds me of something I saw in a YouTube video once, and it triggers that memory and says, ooh, you should try this out. Or, so cleaning my craft room. Maybe it's not the entire craft room. Maybe it's just cleaning off an area of your desk if that's where you have more of an issue. I know for me, my desk right now is a little bit overwhelming and cluttered, and that is on my mind for sure. And I have ideas that are sparked from that. So I'll share that later. That might be an after Christmas thing. I need to get through making some Christmas journals. And so part of cleaning a craft room for me, it usually goes back to I've got paper pads out that are not put away. And so then that kind of will spark me looking through some of my paper pads that I haven't looked through in the past. Great inspiration there. Every time I'm looking through paper pads, I always get about 5 to 10 ideas for journals. Actually, I get more ideas than I have time for. It's kind of the opposite problem. But that might help you. Or if it's not paper pads, and you have a lot of digital kits that you've printed out, or not even printed out, if you have a lot of digital kits saved on your laptop or wherever you save them, look through those digital kits and maybe you'll get some inspiration from that. Or if you don't do digital kits, look through your thrifted books selection and pull some ideas from there. All kinds of inspiration can be had. Like even I have my thread collections. I have it organized by color, like kind of rainbow color theme. And I have it out on display in my craft room. And a lot of times I'll just look over at that and that gives me inspiration. Just seeing those different colors together in a certain way, or a couple of colors together. Another way that I get inspiration is I'll go look up color palettes on Google, and just looking through the different kind of color palettes, can spark some inspiration for a theme of a junk journal based on a color or a set of colors. So there you go. So look through paper pads. One thing that I do, and I kind of mentioned this in my last journal or two, I don't remember ago, is I'll do things that are productive but aren't necessarily taking a lot of creativity power. So in this case, I put down, I create signatures to have ready for when I'm ready to decorate them. So an example, this is a set of signatures, or, I don't know, maybe not signatures, but a set of papers that are ready to be put into signatures, and then I have the ephemera kind of saved and ready to go. This is from a digital kit. So these are ready for other tea-dyed papers or book pages and things to be added to them to then turn into signatures. So I might, turn on a movie or have something on in the background and just kind of do mindless stuff like that. I don't want to say mindless, but stuff that it's being a little bit creative, but not like you're not having to completely full-on decorate pages every time. And if it's not creating signatures, maybe it's, I know for example, we can see it right here. Every time I print something off on my laser printer, I have this border around the edge that I always have to remove. So I'm doing something productive. So I might have printed off a bunch of papers to become ready for a junk journal, but I'm not really feeling creative enough yet to take it to that creative step level. But for right now, I'm going to just remove the edges of those papers, and then they'll be ready to go when I am feeling more creative. So you can do stuff like that. And, that kind of stuff for me, especially as I'm doing that kind of stuff, I'm thinking about creative ways to use these papers. I'm kind of pre-planning what I might be wanting to do with the papers that I'm working with. Or, planning ahead. Or even thinking completely of a totally different journal that I might want to do down the road, and kind of planning that in my mind a little bit. Totally forgot to show you. So my visual aids for cleaning the craft room. I recently was doing a little bit of that, and from that I ended up with, because I had a bunch of fall stuff out, I had enough extra fall papers that I was able to then put together 3 new junk journals. They're not, this one's done. These 2 aren't done. I need to add some charms or dangles and beads and stuff. But I was able to come up with new junk journals based off of the things, because instead of storing this for another year, I was like, well, let's just knock out a couple more junk journals. I pretty much kept them fairly naked junk journals. I didn't really decorate too much. I mean, obviously I did the covers, but so you can do that kind of stuff too. Not every junk journal needs to be decorated and embellished and, you know, that. You can just create the junk journal itself and have it be an empty journal, and as you use it, add the ephemera as you go. You know, you don't have to completely decorate every journal. I actually happen to prefer to start with an undecorated journal most times, unless I want it just for writing, then maybe I do want it decorated. But a lot of times when I'm using my own journals, I don't want them to be decorated because I want to do that as I work in it. So I could do that kind of journaling or making junk journals. So this one I put, it's a pretty personal one for me, but I have a YouTube channel and other social media outlets that I'm feeling responsible to post to. So for YouTube in particular, I do have a schedule that I try to keep to. This last week kind of failed a little bit on that, but I try to post Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. And so knowing that, like, honestly, today is Tuesday evening right now. I literally just, and it's like 8 o'clock at night. I literally just stopped working and came upstairs, only because I knew I had a video that I needed to have put out on Wednesday morning. I try to go at Wednesday morning at 7 in the morning is when I try to have them out, but I could have very easily not done that. I could have very easily just done something different, that, you know, eat dinner maybe. But no, I said, I know myself well enough that if I stop working for the day, it's not going to happen again. And this isn't work, but this is a responsibility that I want to make sure that I'm maintaining. And so, I don't know, maybe that's not for everybody. You know, if you're just wanting to have a fun time and crafting and you don't really want to do the whole YouTube or social media thing, trust me, I totally get it. I don't blame you in any way, shape, or form. It is a big responsibility, and the bigger it gets, the bigger your channel or whatever it is gets, the more responsibility it turns into. So I totally get that if that's not your thing or not wanting to do that. But for me, that is a big one, especially during December Daily or Junk Journal July this last year. I was like, well, I set this expectation, you know, I said I'm going to go ahead and do this thing, so I got to follow through and I got to keep doing it. And there were many, many times during those 2 months, last Christmas and July, when I thought, oh my gosh, I just don't have any ideas. I don't want to do this today. But I still came up here and I still did it. And you know what? Every single time I felt really proud of myself and glad that I did. I worked myself through it. And yeah, so I guess some responsibility if that's something that you might be interested in. And it doesn't have to be a social media thing. It could be you've said something to a friend or a family member that you want to do this thing. I mean, it's not anything different from losing weight, right? You have to have responsibility to maintain and keep going with it. You know, you could do the same kind of thing. Like say, okay, well, I want to do such and such for this amount of time, and you're going to tell your spouse or your partner or something that you're going to do this. And so then your responsibility will be to your partner, spouse, or family member or friend, you know, to kind of keep up with it, and they can help you with that too. So, yeah, I don't know. I that's more my personality. I know that's not for everybody, so take that or leave it. Keep a project planner. Okay, so this is a planner that I discovered this last year that really kind of sparked some great things in my mind. So this one is a recollections planner. It's from Michaels. So I decided to do this one for Plum Figgy for 2021. And the reason I really like it, it's different from most planners in a way that I've never had before. So this one has a project list at the beginning. And so these are, well, I should probably show you the ones that I've already done. So I wrote out the ideas that I had that I wanted to accomplish, right? So we did the modern cat journals, and I didn't do this part yet, so I didn't have a deadline yet. I just made my list of projects that I wanted to work on. So modern cat journals, fall journals, and then I had a few different ideas for a few different kinds. Halloween journals, the same thing. I had a few different ideas. I didn't do the Green Witch, and I didn't do the Spellcast, and I didn't do a waterfowl style, but I did do Halloween journals, an industrial journal. I haven't done this one yet, and then Christmas journals, and then a craft room tour. So I made my list, and this is several pages long, and then I came back and realistically thought, okay, when can I actually achieve these? And I kind of planned it out with the calendar to figure out how much time I would need to accomplish these. So came back and kind of timelined it out. This industrial one didn't happen. We did the other one instead. So I kind of mixed around with that. So there's this, and then there's only, unfortunately, 2 pages for that. And then you have pages like this where okay, so one of my project ideas that I had on my second page that I didn't show you was I wanted to do a version of this planner, but in my own style to use for 2022. So my task from the previous page was this side hustle planner. And so I'm going to do one for Plum Figgy, and I'm going to do one for my work job. And so then down here it gives you a place for some brainstorming and ideas and things like that. And so I just kind of started making some lists. I like to make lists. But so here, fall journals. I had woodland animals journal I wanted to do, and then a traditional fall journal. And so brainstorming woodland animals, I said, okay, let's do that one as an altered book. And then the traditional minimal decorations. And actually, I did both of those. I had started the woodland animals as the altered book, but then I changed course midway soon after. And then the traditional one I ended up keeping for myself. But then I will have others that are similar to it. So anyway, so that is this really awesome little planner. And then what I haven't been using is there's a monthly tracker, and then kind of like a monthly overview of, I guess, your big project, some notes, goals, and focus, work in progress. And then on the monthly view, I wrote down what my YouTube videos were and what days that they were on. So I worked on the Industrial Rest and Numbers journal. Well, I kind of changed the way I was doing this. So I wrote down that. So I started that on August 15th, and I worked on those up until the 22nd, so for a week. And then I posted a CW planner video on the Monday. And then I was done with those. So on the next Wednesday, my next posting day, I started the Modern Cat Journal and worked on those until that next Sunday, posted again on the Sunday. Monday I posted my CW planner, posted again on the Modern Cat. And then the Friday posting, I did work on my Around Beauty. So basically, I'm kind of showing every day that I'm posting and what it is that I'm posting. And then using the weekly for sometimes just putting what I posted that day. And if I didn't post, what did I work on? So this day I happened to get my Your Creative Studio box. So I did an unboxing and then did the upcoming journals chit chat in that video. And then the Wednesday of the 18th, I was working on the Industrial Rest and Numbers Part 4. So I posted that one. And then I started Signature 1 of the second one of those. And so some weeks... for this week, I just was writing about what I actually posted. And then I had some notes for myself of things that I kind of wanted to keep on the list of things to do. So finish these journals this week, prep for the cat journal, and then tea-dye papers for the fall and Halloween journal. So this is, for me, really helpful to kind of keep me on track and keep me moving. I kind of tend to need to have goals and things to look forward to in order to keep progressing forward, whether they're written down like this or in my own mind or just in my head. I kind of tend to always think that way. So this has been really helpful for me. I'm not going to continue using it because I need more. I need more of these pages, project list pages. So I actually went in on Etsy. I think I found some ideas, or with Happy Planner, I might convert some Happy Planners, or just make my own. I don't know. I like Happy Planner too. I'm a planner girl. Can you tell? So keep a project planner. We kind of touched on this. Watch other artists and try new things that they're doing. So try things that are a little bit scary or nervous for you. One of those things for me is drawing. I am not big on drawing or calligraphy or, nice handwriting, script writing. I haven't really practiced that, and so I'm not very good at it. So I tried to do the sketchbook revival this year, or whatever that was called. I crashed and burned. I lasted for a few days, maybe not even that long, and eventually changed that journal into my junk journal July, which I then stuck with. But hey, at least I tried it, and it sparked other ideas and got me out of my comfort zone, and that's really a good thing to do sometimes. Or it could be watercoloring for me. I'm not good at watercolor. I'm not a watercolor artist, but I sure do own a lot of watercolor. And I like to do it. So I make sure and schedule that into my time and make sure and keep up with it and do it, periodically. And I'm really inspired by other YouTube artists that I'm watching all the time. It could be a very simple thing. You might see someone create a pocket page in a way that you've never thought of and think to yourself, ooh, I want to try that, and follow, if they have a tutorial, follow their tutorial or try and recreate it from what you saw. This is not a new thing. This is, we all do it. But that's another great way to get yourself kickstarted back into being creative. Set yourself a challenge. Okay, so I just did this, right? So I did this with the current journal that I'm working on. This one that's got the pre-made kit, where I bought a pre-made kit from Etsy of papers, and I'm now turning all of that in this book cover. I bought 2 of them, 2 different kits, and turning that into a junk journal. Another challenge that this Monday Collage Weekly Challenge has been a really great thing to get me out of my comfort zone and try something different, and that is a challenge sometimes, for sure. Doesn't have to be a big challenge. It can be a small challenge. It could be kind of almost anything, really. But try and think of a challenge. And if you can't think of a challenge, Google Junk Journal Challenge. Or go to YouTube and type in Junk Journal Challenge. There's a lot of them out there. You could do a Dollar Tree challenge. I want to do a thrift store challenge. I want to take you guys shopping with me at a thrift store, and I will have a set dollar amount that I can spend, and I have to purchase everything for a junk journal at that thrift store within that dollar amount. I think that would be a fun challenge. So, things like that. I also want to do a challenge where this is the state of my desk right now. This is just one little bin of paper scraps. I've got paper scraps up the yin-yang right now. I want to do a challenge for myself of making a junk journal just purely off of what's sitting on my desk right now. So that's on my project list. And so I want to get to that. So set yourself a challenge. Mass making. Do little small projects. I've got all these paper scraps sitting in front of me. I could sit here and be gluing paper to other papers and working on something at the same time. I do a lot of other kinds of crafts. I'm basically, if I'm not working and I'm sitting at home and not cleaning or doing something else, I'm pretty much crafting. I like to do embroidery. I like to do cross stitch. Lately, I've been doing diamond painting, and that's kind of fun. Lately, I've been back into doing some adult coloring. I used to make jewelry. I still have a lot of stuff to do to make jewelry with. I used to sew little owl plush pillow things, tooth fairy pillows. So, and it doesn't have to be another craft. Do another hobby. Go for a walk. Do a sport. Do something different and free your mind that way. And I don't know. For me, the other crafts that I do, they're very, it's kind of like meditation in a way, because especially the diamond dots and, all of them really. The diamond dots, the coloring, the embroidery, the cross stitch. It's very repetitive type of thing, and I'm allowed to just kind of sit and think and kind of ruminate about my day, my life, what's happening right now, work through issues in my mind, plan things that I want to do. Just think about whatever is on your mind and kind of free up space again in your mind. And that, for me, usually then eventually morphs into ideas that I want to then translate into making junk journals. Because at the end of the day, everything comes back to junk journaling. Because that's my obsession right now. And then, so go to the thrift store with the intent of finding things for a journal. So I just kind of mentioned that. But maybe that could be a fun challenge for you. Or maybe don't do it as strict as my idea necessarily, but go to the thrift store. Look through the books. Find a book to use. Look through the paperwork things that they might have. Just look through it. Look through things and put on your junk journaling eyeglasses and think of it through the lens of making a junk journal. And I bet you could have all kinds of fun ideas popping into your head. And then another one, the last one on my list, look through magazines, craft related or otherwise. I swear, every time I go to Barnes and Nobles and I stand there and look through magazines, I get so many ideas. And so as you're having these ideas, write them down or put them into your app that you keep ideas in, or, however it is that you keep ideas. But yeah, look through magazines. If you have magazines at home that are just sitting around and not being used, flip through them with your junk journaling eyeglasses on tear out pages that you want to use in your junk journal or collage with. So yeah. So okay, well, I did talk with my hands a lot, so I'm sorry for anyone who's motion sick. I apologize. So yeah, I hope this helps if you are having some creativity blocks. If you have other ideas or things that you do that you think might be helpful, please leave a comment down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you, and I think other people watching this video probably would as well, because we all go through this. It's not a unique thing. This is very common, actually. So don't feel like you're alone in that, because you're really not. We all go through this. So we're here to help each other. So, okay, guys. Well, like I said, I'll be back next time with some more junk journaling and less talking and waving of the hands. And I have some new Etsy restocks coming soon. These are suede. They're very soft. I like them a lot. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.